When you think of the term adventure bike riding, this is probably the last image you'd have in your head. But Kymco, the folks behind this fine machine, have dubbed their new DT X360 an adventure crossover scooter. We're not just going to take their word for it though, so we've sought adventure with a ride down the Great Ocean Road and inland through some pretty snotty tracks and trails. Whether or not you want to call it an adventure bike or not, look, that's up to you, but we've certainly had a lot of laughs and we've certainly had an adventure. Let me show you how it went down.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Well, this isn't exactly ideal. The weather forecast said 24 degrees and sunny, and so I dressed for that, and now we're getting absolutely soaked. So I think that I might have to settle down the pace on this thing. I don't know how much grip there is on these CST branded adventure tyres or dual sport sort of tyres. But look, we're going to make the most of it and we're going to have some fun. This is the very beginning of the Great Ocean Road, and I'm of course on the Kymco DT X360. Just did a morning touring run along the freeway. It sits on 120 pretty happily. It's very comfortable. Wind protection's good. Things you would expect from a maxi scooter in this class, nothing overly exciting, but also nothing is letting me down just yet. I think that this dash is really good, really bright, really easy to read. That's all it needs to be able to do. Reasonable storage. We've got some bark busters, which has actually sort of kept the wind off my hands, which is nice. They claim that it's got enough room under the seat for 2 helmets, so I sort of tested that. I don't think so. Maybe one full face helmet and an open face, probably a little bit more realistic there, but still a lot of under seat storage. This thing works reasonably well, not amazing. Of course, just a twist and go throttle as we expect from scooters, so continuously variable transmission. This is a rear brake, not a clutch. That's a front brake, of course. It uses I think it's a 349cc engine, making, I want to say, 21.2 kilowatts and 30 newton meters. I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself in the editing suite. Much better than, say, like a 125cc scooter. I've also got traction control. I've got that firmly on in these conditions, but I'll be switching that off a bit later, particularly when we get out on the dirt. See if I can get it a little bit sideways. Of course, LED lighting, keyless ignition, really good grab handles, and a large pillion seat. I'm sure this would accommodate a pillion really comfortably. It's also shorter than the Kymco 350i Downtown, upon which this bike is based. It's higher at a seat height of 800 millimeters. It's got wider handlebars, and of course those dual sport tyres. That's pretty much the only thing separating it from the Downtown 350i in terms of performance. So, you know, it's a little bit of a stretch calling it an adventure scooter, but close enough for jazz. I'm sure it'll be fun trying to get this thing sideways a bit later. Hopefully no carnage, or hopefully for you, some carnage. Alright, coming up to the first serious looking bend on the Great Ocean Road. Look, it's not exactly going fast, but it's kind of confidence inspiring. Brakes are alright. I tend to squeeze both the front and rear brakes on these scooters because of the way you sit quite central. You've actually got a fair bit of weight over both the front and rear, and of course the engine's over the rear wheel, so I feel like you can rely on the rear brake a lot more than you can on a conventional motorcycle. So I usually squeeze them both about 60-40. It just goes to show, you know, it's the big difference between cars and motorcycles / scooters. You know, like there's fun cars and there's boring cars, but I think all motorcycles and scooters are fun to varying degrees, of course, but it doesn't matter what you're on. Just being in the air. Oh, what a gentleman. Thanks, mate. On a nice stretch of road, look, it's always fun, isn't it? Yeah, braking stability is quite impressive. A very bumpy bit of road there, and the suspension took it quite well. As far as I can tell, it's the same suspension as on the standard, well, not standard, but the 350i downtown maxi scooter, which is built on this same platform, but it's more of a commuter / touring scooter. It's not at all equipped for off-road as this one's built. Yeah, man, I got my elbows out, so starting to put my knee out. It feels like a motorcycle in a way. Oop. Probably came in a little hot there. Bit of understeer towards the end. Wind pushing me around like crazy now. Look at that sea. Yep. The gods are angry today.
So how does it work, Mavi? Can you show me the...
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready for it? Behold.
Yeah, that's right.
Ta-da!
Wow.
USB action.
Carbon fiber too.
It's carbon fiber,
yep.
Well, is it
Is
though?
that a USB 3 or?
Oh, it's the latest design. It's something.
Is it USB?
Taiwanese USB production line.
USB-C.
We found it.
Oh, the USB-D.
Welcome to the
I
future.
was going to point it out at lunch. Wayne preempted me.
Yeah. I'll stole his
That was
thunder.
going to be my presentation before we go to the cafe.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to have to move on to the
Is it
next
on a
one.
USB, the presentation? Because you could put it...
Yeah, that was half an hour on that.
Brings it up on the internet,
Alright, some more twisties. You just heard from Mark Vittore there, one of the funniest guys I know. He was a journalist for years, but he's now our primary contact at MOTO Motorcycles, which distributes Kymco, Sherco and CF Moto in Australia. He's a funny bastard, but yeah, we just spotted this little gadget, little USB hidden under there, charge your phone and stuff. Little bit of a nitpick here, but not great visibility out of these mirrors. They're quite a large bit of glass, but it seems like no matter how I sort of adjust them, I'm getting a lot of my shoulders. And perhaps that's because these handlebars are wider, and so I'm sort of, my riding position is kind of like I'm on a naked sports bike, elbows up. If I tuck them in I can see, but I feel like an absolute nerd. So I think I'd rather have limited visibility and good form. Maybe just one to keep in mind. It is so windy, man. But the bike is not overly affected by it. maybe it helps with the scooter having the big sort of hole in the center for the wind to go through, so it's not like hitting a wall. That's total bro science, by the way. I have no idea if there's any truth to that, but yeah, look, it's not getting too turbulent. I like it, man. Certainly looks alright, particularly on the side profile. You can only get it in this orange and black colour scheme, but look, it's a bit leery. It's a bit eccentric. So cool, good on them. I don't know how big the taste is for maxi scooters in Australia. I know they're huge in Europe, particularly in Italy. I know Valentino Rossi is often seen getting around his hometown on a Yamaha T-Max. But, you know, Australia is a bit of a different animal. So I'm not sure just how much taste there is for maxi scooters in Australia, but they do make sense for a particular buyer, and look, don't discount them. Look at this. I want to just point out this turning circle again. I'll see if I can do it in one go. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think this thing would be great in the city. I know we're sort of being a bit silly and, you know, trying to be on a bit of an adventure. It's called an adventure scooter, so we're going to have an adventure. But you know, the truth of the matter is, these things are instruments of pragmatism and practicality. You're not really supposed to ride them fast down twisty mountain roads in the wet, and you're not really supposed to turn the traction control off and do skids. But you know, life's short. May as well have as much fun as we can, because we're motorcyclists. That's what we do. Alright, dry road. Mostly dry anyway. Lots more grip. Lots more grip, but I only realise now how slippery that road was before. Rather surprised with those dual sport tyres, you know. Often it's the case that you see those sort of dual sport adventure tyres like the ones on this, you know, the tread pattern, and you think there can't be much grip on that on the tarmac, but it's amazing how well they work these days. Definitely really come a long way. It's nowhere near as much a compromise to have like a dual sport tyre as it used to be on the road. First bit of trail. Ooh. Bit clayey. Oh, okay, that's actually really, really slippery. Better not go in all guns blazing. Yeah, that's pretty damn slippery actually. It doesn't feel strange. There's Mavi on the new CF-MOTO 800 MT. We'll be riding that bike. What have you done, you idiot?
Doing a U-turn.
Yeah, looks like it.
I got stuck.
Do you want a tow?
I just need to pull the arse end out, then I'll be right.
Alright, one sec, I'll park up and I'll get you.
Somewhere, yeah.
Funny bastard.
I didn't want to go too far. I started down there, then I thought I'll do a U-E.
Yeah. Nah, that's why I love you.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I can probably pull the front out too.
I'll try.
Watch out, it's very slippery where you're standing. I'm going to tell him you crashed.
Yeah, yeah, great. Oh. He's doing a U-turn.
He's pranged it. Should have seen it. Flying W.
Oh, fucking, yeah. I was just doing a U-turn.
Be careful coming out of there. The front wheel wants to go straight back.
I just got in there and then I just put the gas on and, of course, then I couldn't fucking pull the thing out. I needed muscle like this.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to go.
Yeah, that's the wrong spot. You shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, no, you're supposed to be on this part of the road.
I started
This is fun. I love motorcycles, man. As I said, it's a big difference between cars and motorcycles. It does not matter what bike you're on. You can always get fun out of it, you know? Yeah, trails like that you could ride all day on this thing. It's alright, you know. Considering this thing has 14-inch wheels, tiny little wheels, man, it goes alright. It soaks up the bumps. It's not a dirt bike, obviously. But if you looked at this picture of this maxi scooter on this horrible clay track, you'd think that's the last place I'd want to be on that bike, but it's fine. It seems like the TCS light actually has to be green, means it's off, which is sort of counterintuitive. Let's see. Oh, yep, that's definitely... Oh, fuck. That's definitely off.
Loose. I'll be action on those tyres. What are you doing slow motion? No, I was getting sound.
Oh, fuck. Alright, so I've got this baby absolutely pinned. There's some nice corners around here. The road is nice and dry. Wow. Look, it's no sports bike. It's not even close, but I'm seriously blown away by how dynamic it is in the corners. Like, it's a fun motorcycle to punt around a twisty road. And I just never ever would have expected that by looking at it. I would have thought I'd be on this twister set of corners and I'd be wishing I was on something else. But I'm having a blast. I've cocked that up royally. Ridiculous. Okay, so apparently there's something of a jump up ahead. I'm making no promises. Oh shit, there it is. Whoa. Did you get any air?
I can't quite tell. I think maybe, but like only a tiny bit.
It sound right, boys.
So unfortunately, one of us had a bit of an off. It's a bit of a slow speed affair, but oh man, we were taking it through some pretty slippery spots, and you know, little 14-inch wheels and not a lot of suspension. I mean, they can't handle that much. We're probably pushing them well outside their design brief, but yeah, our mate's he's headed to the hospital. He's got a sore shoulder. He'll be alright, but he'll be very sore, so wishing him a speedy recovery. It's an adventure. So the Kymco DT X360, it's available now in this here colour scheme from 8,790 right away. Let us know what you think. Cheers guys.
Sound right, boy.